Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Kaylee. I am a painter and graphic novelist, and I'm making these videos to document the process of my second graphic novel. I'm extra excited for our chat tonight because it is, oh my gosh, as you probably just heard, it's storming. It's raining, it's thundering. If you hear anything in the background, that's what's going on. We're safe and cozy inside, and we're about to get into one of my favorite things to talk about, which is how to use your creative practice to create the life that you want now. We're not waiting on anything or anyone or any opportunity outside ourselves. We are calling all of that to us by implementing daily habits and daily practices. I want to start off with this quote that I heard about 6 or 7 years ago. It's by the musician Pharrell Williams, and he said something like, "You already are that person. Put yourself in that spot." There is a mindset shift that this quote speaks to that I have been implementing the past, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks, very intentionally, and it has helped me so much. So I really wanted to share it with you and talk a bit about it in a cozy way, no stress, because I know that a lot of us are feeling overwhelmed and uncertain about the future, and we might be waiting on opportunities outside of our control and getting a bit impatient. By the end of this video, I hope to provide you with some relief, some inspiration, some encouragement, and whatever support I can possibly give you. So I'm going to be sharing some examples from my own life. We'll go through some examples that may apply to you that you can implement in your life. I'm so grateful that you're here. I love having conversations like this, and I love painting. So getting to combine the two is, it's just such a pleasure for me. All day at work today, I was so excited to come home and just sit down with you and have this conversation. So let's get right into it. Okay, so starting with the Pharrell Williams quote. You are that person, you already are that person, put yourself in that spot. When I first heard that quote, and for years afterwards, what I interpreted that to mean was I envisioned my future self, I envisioned the life that I wanted to have, and I thought, what spaces, what physical spaces would she go into that I can try and put myself in now? The past few weeks, I have been thinking of that quote very differently. I've reframed in my mind the idea of a spot or a place not as a tangible thing, but rather as the behaviors, habits, and actions stemming from the mindset of the one who already has the things that I want. Thinking of that place being a tangible place or a mental place or both, that might bring up some immediate doubts for you. Like, well, I can't go there yet. I'm barred from entry. I am not actually the recipient of this grant yet, or I am not actually in this position yet, so I physically can't go into this place. So what am I supposed to do with that? How would I even have a mindset of a person with things that I don't have? I learn best through examples, so I'm going to provide some examples of what I mean and how I've been implementing this quote in very small ways. So if you've seen my videos before, then you know my greatest artistic dream is to be able to create work that I love, that helps heal me and helps me bring my inner world into the tangible world, and hopefully provides a resource to not only myself but to others in their own integration of all that they are. In addition, I want to be able to provide tangible support to other artists because I know how important that is. I want to be able to provide materials. I want to be able to provide a network, career advice, things that are going to be substantially helpful and supportive to emerging artists of all ages. So, an idea that came into my mind recently was I really want to have a line in my budget called the Mrs. Haverty Fund. Mrs. Haverty was my high school art teacher. I did not go to art school. She was my only art teacher. I absolutely adore her. We still talk. I actually just sent her my first graphic novel, and she's in the acknowledgements, of course. A few weeks ago, a desire came into my mind that I want to be able to have hundreds of dollars a month set aside exclusively to support emerging artists of all ages. That means purchasing their work, providing materials, providing whatever sort of financial support is needed. That would be so incredible. I would love to do that. Now, I'm not currently in the position where I can do that to the extent that I would like to, and that I know I will one day. So I thought to myself, how can I implement this future that I know I will have? How can I implement that this month? What can I do? And I thought, well, instead of $300, I know that I can set aside $30. Until my current situation changes, I commit to myself that I will set aside $30 a month to support emerging artists. Through that practice, I'm putting myself in the place of my future self, who will be so abundant in her art business that she will be able to provide so much substantial support to other artists. I got so excited when I first received this desire, and I don't know if this happens with you, but sometimes when you can't do things to the capacity that you want to, I'll get frustrated immediately, and it will almost make me resent the idea or the desire in itself. Like, oh, I wish I didn't have this idea because I can't do it right now. And it reminds me of my own perceived limitations. But with this new frame of mind that I'm in, I was able to just relish the idea, relish the fact that I've had someone in my life. I've had many people, but just thinking about Mrs. Haverty specifically, I've had someone in my life who was able to provide me with so much encouragement and support as a young person, and it changed the course of my life. It changed what I believed was possible for me. I'm so grateful to her and everything that she taught me and the support that she gave to her students. The idea of being able to provide that sort of support and encouragement to others the way that I was able to receive from her makes me feel so happy. I'm like on the verge of tears. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Anyway, it makes me feel so happy and so good. And thanks to this mindset, I'm not waiting. I'm gonna have that budget line now. I'm actually gonna spend that $30 this Friday because I'm meeting with this emerging artist, and I actually encouraged her to make some stickers out of a beautiful painting that she did. And so I'm gonna buy a bunch of stickers for my friends, and we're gonna hang up her painting in this cafe to hopefully get it sold. So I didn't have to wait for my financial situation to change in order to already become the person that I'm living into. So while we keep talking about this, I'm going to start showing you some of the paintings that I did for my graphic novel this month. I only did 3, and usually I try and do 5 a month, but honestly these 3 are bangers to me. If this is your first time seeing one of these videos, I'm working on my second graphic novel. My first, it's called My World Belongs to Me. It came out in January. So I've been shipping those out. Thank you so much to everyone who ordered one. It was such a fulfilling experience to get to finally finish it and have it printed in the way that I always envisioned it. It's all a bit of a surreal memoir. This book in particular goes into my middle school and high school years. I love using surreal elements and symbols and metaphor to represent something that I think all of us experience, at least in some way, which is feeling this pressure from society to mold ourselves into what we feel is expected of us and hide the parts of us that we don't feel like will be understood or palatable to others. So I've talked about this at length in the other videos. I won't go into it as much here, but oh my gosh, it is pouring rain. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, when I started this series, I actually intended for each book and each page to stand alone and to be able to connect with all the other ones, but also mean something and stand alone and be impactful in its own right. In the last video, this is the page that we left off on. It says, "All I recognized were my eyes." And we've got the character, she's been holding this mask and she's debating whether or not she's going to put it on. At the same time, her inner self is shown going through this old, overgrown, abandoned building, standing at the window and looking out. So both of these things are sort of happening at once. Okay, so first one of the month, we have her putting the mask up against her face. The text before was, "All I recognized were my eyes. The rest of me belonged to a stranger." Something that's really important to me as an artist is to not shy away from the darker aspects of the human experience, things that are more challenging, maybe disturbing. At the same time, I will not be representing those things in a way just to shock people or to make something scary or creepy just for the sake of it, just to make something that looks cool. So I want everything to be done very intentionally. That being said, I kind of creep myself out making this. The reason that I want this to be disturbing is because it is disturbing. The idea of a child feeling the need to put a mask over the complex personhood that they are and grow into an adult who feels that their inner world is not worthy or capable of being seen, that is a disturbing thing to me. And I think that that is something that at some point in life we all have to contend with and struggle with. And that's why I'm making this, because I hope that not only can it support me as I integrate everything that I am, but I hope that I can support other people really valuing the totality of their experience. Something that happened while I was painting this that was unexpected was I spilled paint. I've noticed that every time I spill paint or I mess up or something happens, it pushes me to come up with a creative solution that I wouldn't have otherwise thought of. I end up being so much happier with the piece as a result, so I'm not even mad. I spilled paint in here, and that's why the shadows are curved like this, because this wouldn't naturally occur in real life. But I'm really happy with it. I think it's trippy and weird, and remember, don't cry over spilled paint. Okay. So we have The Rest of Me Belong to a Stranger. I had eclipsed my own teeming world with an empty planet. So we're watching the moon slowly get eclipsed, and her eyes are registering that movement. I've been wanting to get a bit more creative with how I lay out my pages, and so I ended up putting in this old frame here. The reason that I ended up using this was because I'm working on a jacket for a friend. That's one of my commissions. And we decided that we were going to put this really cool antique frame on the back of this jacket. And as I was working on it, I was like, I really want to paint another frame. So I ended up finding this reference photo. And the reference photo for this one was this antique brooch with a lover's face inside. I thought, well, this is perfect, not only because it's circular, so it kind of compositionally goes with the rest of it, but the deeper meaning behind why I decided to use that specifically is because I feel like a lot of antique lockets and brooches and things like this that contained a loved one's face or a lock of hair, people would often exchange them when one of them was going away, like whether it was to war or to go away and do something, and they would be separated and apart. And I loved the idea of using something like that to frame this inner self who is being eclipsed by the protagonist right now. In a sense, this loved one is going away. One of the main messages that I want my work to speak to is that nothing is ever really lost. And so even though this inner world is being eclipsed by the protagonist, I want to show that her inner self will never be lost to her. And they may be separated in a sense for a time, but that separation will never be real. What is happening in the story and the subject matter and the narration of this page, it's heavy to me, it's sad. And so I wanted to do it deliberately with so much love and care and compassion, with beauty and faith and hope. Here's the last one of the month. The narration reads, "In darkness, the way home is lit." So we've got the hand of her inner self lighting a candle. In the background is the eclipse. The idea is she's fully eclipsed her inner self, her inner world, but in darkness, the inner self is holding vigil for her. I don't know if that's the correct way to use that word, but you get what I mean. I was going back and forth on how exactly I wanted to phrase this narration. What I'm trying to communicate is that in very dark times when we're confused or things seem really sad, there are certain things that become very clear. Obviously, this was a pleasure for me to paint because, as you probably have guessed, I love drawing hands. So that was really fun. And I love doing flames and smoke and stuff like that. Now let's take a look at some of the storyboards that I have. So these are some of the ideas that turned into the pages that I just showed you. This is the one that, I don't know if you can see, but this is the one that we started off on. This one I kind of changed around a bit, but it was the first one that I did this month that I showed you. All of this writing here is me trying to formulate the script, the narration. And sometimes I'll just write out the same thing like over and over again and change little words here and there just until I'm happy with it. So that's what that's for. The last page that I just showed you, lighting the candle, this was my original idea for it. As you can see, I had originally designed it to be 3 panels. I ended up making it just a full page spread because I thought it would give a greater impact. I almost painted over this one because it creeped me out so much. And I wrote right here, this really creeps me out. But these are going to be the next few pages that I focus on next month. Really looking forward to it. I'm excited to push myself artistically and see what new techniques and things I can learn. I started off this series not knowing anything except how to draw portraits with a number 2 pencil. Like I really had no skills with these materials that I love to use now. I just had the idea and I really wanted to see it through. So it's been such a great way for me to learn all of these different techniques and learn how to paint and draw things that I had no idea how to do before this project. It's a great tool for learning. I want to take it back to the quote that we were discussing in the beginning and give you a couple examples that maybe you could use or implement in your own life this week, starting today. Everyone is creative. First of all, let's start there. Let's say that maybe you don't call yourself an artist, or maybe you do, but you really want to have some sort of daily creative practice. Maybe you had one before, but you've sort of fallen off, life has gotten in the way, or maybe you're watching videos of sketchbook tours online and you just think to yourself, oh, I want a sketchbook that is so full of my thoughts and ideas, and I just feel intimidated, like I don't even know where to start. So we're going to put that desire in the present tense. So we'll say something like, I have a robust creative practice and every day I contribute to my medium of choice. Like, I don't know if you draw, if you paint, if you sculpt, whatever thing that you love to make. It can be anything. It can be cakes. I have a robust creative practice. Each day you affirm that to yourself. If you had a robust creative practice, you would probably have a sketchbook in the first place, right? So get a sketchbook or get that old one out from the closet or something. Get it out, decorate it maybe, make it something that you want to come to every single day. And let's say one of your things is, well, I just don't have time because I have to go to work and then I have to come home and do this and that. What you could do, what I would do in my own situation is I would pack my sketchbook in my work bag and I would do it the night before to make sure that I didn't forget it. And at work, I know you probably have 5 minutes to spare, maybe on the bus on the way to work or something like that, where you can just doodle. And the more you do it, the less it's like this whole thing of, oh, I have to draw today, or ooh, like it's a blank page, what am I gonna do? The more you just have the sketchbook readily available and develop this practice of doodling whenever you're bored or whenever you have some downtime, the more that affirms to your brain, oh, they actually do have a robust creative practice. That's what they said, and their actions are backing that up. So one of the main things that I hope that I can leave you with today is you don't have to wait for an opportunity to come or for something outside of yourself to change in order to put yourself in some semblance of the spot that you want to be in. If you feel insignificant right now, you need to think again, because you have so much power in your actions and in your thoughts. And if you use those together, if you think the things that you want and then follow through with actions that align with that self, you are going to be walking this path directly into the future that you want. And I promise you, The opportunities will present themselves while you're walking that path, but you need to start walking. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if I was sitting with my younger self right now, this is just the advice that I would give her. I'd be like, start walking, honey. If no one else has told you, I believe in you. I know that you can do this. Whatever your desire is, whatever you want to create, you don't need to know how you're going to get there. You just need to start. And I know that you can start. And I know you can start today. I know you can start as soon as you click out of this video. I know you can do it. You're not receiving these desires so that you can get frustrated and feel limited. You're receiving these desires because you already are that person. The person who is going to carry those things out, the person who is going to create the work that you see in your head, that person is you. Oh my gosh, I'm preaching. I just know I would not have a full-length graphic novel out and about in 6 countries right now without the encouragement of wonderful people in my life that I am so grateful for. And if I can do anything, I hope that I can be that for you, because we need you. The world needs you to create the things that you have in your mind. And if you are struggling with self-doubt right now, the remedy for that is action. It can be a very, very small contribution, but that is a contribution nonetheless to the future that you are creating. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. I got fired up. Clearly, I'm very passionate about this, okay? Having a consistent creative practice, no matter what your medium is, it will save your life. And I'm not exaggerating. The world needs it, okay? So, no more dilly-dallying. Anyway, I love you. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this space. I have so much fun making these videos, and if they're helpful to you, I am so grateful. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this rainy Alabama evening. If you would like to be part of my Print of the Month Club, where you get a new print in the mail each month, that's on my Patreon. I'll have it linked down below. I'll have all of my socials, everything linked down below. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'll see you soon. Take care.